Wait a minute. Why is Shaq walking away? Where's he going? Dude, what are you doing? Ah, no. Where was Shaq's trophy? He averaged 26 points, 10 rebounds, shot 63%. Guys, it's the stats that matter, not the championship.
Police, open the door.
Ah, First things first, the NBA Twitter police now have a headquarters on Instagram. Because we get so many reports of petty crimes that aren't worth investigating for a video, but they're still funny as hell. So when they're good enough to be shown but not good enough for a video, they will go here, and you can follow this page with the link in the comment section or in the description. However, what lies under this post, I know it won't be a petty crime. I'm gonna ask you guys a question. If you answer wrong, you know what, as a matter of fact, don't answer wrong. Answer as if your life depends on it. Do rings matter? And before you do, I want you to raise your hand if you play ball in real life and tell me, because I don't know what's going on with the youth these days. I don't know if things have changed. Is it now becoming enough to be a part of your team and just to go out there and say, hey, I did my part? Are y'all okay with that now instead of winning? Is that what the goal is now, is to just only go out there and do your part? And if you can do that, you can sleep well at night? Is the goal no longer to play to win? There's two ways to answer that question, and both of them are going to be under this post, I assume.
No, because if that was the case, Bill Russell would be the GOAT because the man has 11.
If you say yes, you don't know nothing about ball.
Okay, I was wrong. Maybe there's only one type. The Bill Russell argument. Good old Bill. You know what? I never roast Bill. Because I appreciate what he did for the game as a pioneer. I understand that he was a really good athlete, probably limited by the technology of his time, but the Bill Russell argument is becoming so tired. The one where people say, as a matter of fact, I won't even go there because there was one person who answered correctly. This is the picture perfect answer. This will set you free. Rings do matter, but that's just part of it. MVPs matter, scoring titles matter, defensive player of the years matter. And then he goes on into his own opinion about LeBron and MJ. But that right there, that's it, Chief. That's it. That's the whole thing. It's that simple. People always go to Robert Horry and Bill Russell, and it is a shame because the only reason people talk about Bill Russell is to use him as a false GOAT. Nobody praises him. I don't think a lot of people take the time to learn about him. You hear Bill Russell's name in 2018, 2019 under one circumstance. To say that rings don't matter, because obviously he's not the GOAT, we get that. But all people use it for is like this right here. So that means Horry is better than Barkley because he has rings, or Fry is better than Ewing? Obviously not. It's just like the barbershop talk I just did on stats. Stats are meant to be used in unison with other things. They're meant to synthesize. No one stat can tell you enough about a single game or a player's career. They come together to paint a bigger picture. That is the same exact thing with championship rings. But do you know what I despise? This new culture that's coming up, this new culture of opinion that's arising with basketball, where people are actually saying championships don't matter. That just makes me wonder, like, how many of y'all play in real life? Do you care? Is that what it is now? Like, y'all just don't care about the big goal? Just food for thought. Have y'all ever stopped to think about how basketball is the one sport where one guy can truly be the difference? Not saying that one guy can be expected to go win a championship, it's a team effort. But more than any other sport, I would say, or more than the majority of them, basketball is that one where a player, one guy can be that X factor. It's the reason that nobody believes in a team like the Nuggets right now. Look at the Denver Nuggets in first place in an extremely competitive Western Conference and nobody cares. Do you know why nobody cares? Because their best player is Jokic. Jokic is very good. People who really watch hoops love him. But they understand he is not that X factor guy in the playoffs that's going to take them far. One guy can carry a lot of weight. One guy can be a huge factor in whether a team wins a championship or not. And that is why for all-time greats, rings matter. But you know what?
It's an old-fashioned notion.
So at approximately 12:11 a.m. on January the 1st, people were already out being delinquents. People were literally committing crimes 11 minutes into the new year. This guy says, LOL, Wade got outscored by a 37-year-old Tim Duncan in the 2014 finals, but he gets zero slander for it. Remember though, LeBron's teammates get all the blame, LMAO. Wow, he's wrong and loud. So this one was very interesting to me because all we know about the 2014 NBA Finals is that the Spurs mollywopped the Miami Heat. I've never really bothered to look up too many stats from there, but we're gonna do it anyways because this guy says that Tim Duncan was outscoring Dwayne Wade and he should be slandered for it. And here in the 2014 NBA Finals, we see that Tim Duncan averaged 15.4 points per game to Dwayne Wade's 15.2 points a game. So that's what we're tripping over? You're making all this noise over 0.2 of a point. Oh goodness. Alright, first of all, the second half of this take is completely ludicrous. It's foolish. Because Dwayne Wade and Bosh have been slandered to hell for the 2014 finals. What are we talking about here? I thought the 2014 finals is the one that most people completely agree on, where they say that Dwayne Wade just was not Wade anymore. And they say Chris Bosh played sorry. Yeah, we've been there. They get the blame for that one. That's like people's main excuse for LeBron that year, is that Dwayne Wade was no longer himself. But this right here, these dramatics, this is what I really don't like. Where we say that Wade got outscored by a 37-year-old Duncan, like all this effect. Like we just have to drop the 37 on there to be dramatic. Tim Duncan was the one guy that we questioned, like where is Father Time? Because Father Time just hasn't lost a battle to anybody. And to that point in 2014, Tim Duncan hadn't lost that fight yet. The guy was still averaging 15 points on the season, 9 rebounds, shooting 50%. He was not washed. The next year, he made the All-Star team in 2015. Duncan wasn't like really washed until 2016. That's when he was done. That was like, there's no more Duncan here. He lost. And he bowed out gracefully. By 2014, him and the Spurs, they were still in the championship hunt. We're not talking like, saying 37-year-old Duncan is not the same thing as saying 37-year-old Kobe. And also with this, again, people have made it a point to make us know that Wade was washed so that LeBron does not get the slander for that finals appearance. Like, what's all this anger towards Father Prime? Where is this coming from? Like, we're good, man. We know what happened. It's good, bro. Chill. Here's a Michael Jordan appreciation post, and you know anytime there is a Jordan appreciation post, to balance it out, there has to be somebody there trying to shit on it. The guy says, Jordan played against weak defenses. 2018 LeBron would probably average 50 in the 80s and 90s. Well, okay, you guys already know which side I stand on. I think it's foolish to say that LeBron could not play back then. I think LeBron James could play in any era. But I have a simple, logical question about this. Today, defense is about as weak as it's ever been. The new freedom of movement rules that were implemented, the numerous rules that have been changed to push us towards a more offensive game, you know, the lack of hand checking. Like, every rule that's been changed has been conducive to trying to make it a more high scoring game, which they've really accomplished in 2019. So my question is, with all the defensive rules really loosened up, if 2018 LeBron was not averaging 50, then why would he average 50 in an era where there weren't this many rules leaning towards the offense? That's an actual question I'm asking. If you're gonna drive to the rim and get hacked and it's not gonna be called, if they're allowed to actually use their strength and push you around and not have to risk a flagrant, then what would be the logic behind saying stronger defensive rules would allow him to average even more points? The modern defensive rules have been weakened to a point that we're looking at players from 10 years ago wondering how much they would average now, because that's how much has been loosened. They can move more freely, there's more space on the floor. That's another thing nobody takes into account. Damn near everybody can shoot now. It wasn't like that back then. So now the floor is not as space for a player like LeBron that he really loves the paint, right? So that's our second shock value take. Let's see what the next one brings. Kevin Durant is not unguardable. That's news to me. In fact, Durant is an overrated number 1. If he were number 1 on a team, he would struggle to get touches late. Teams would double him. He would be neutralized. Remember, he can't create off the dribble. Inside, he is too light to post up low. On the Warriors, these aspects are matched. 8 likes. Oh, wait a minute. This looks like 2014. How did we get here? Is this the season where Kevin Durant didn't have Westbrook for most of it because he was out with injuries? Is this also the year that, wait, he's the only star on the team right now? What is this? He's not getting neutralized. He's getting his touches late. He's averaging like 32 points, 32 efficient points. He's creating off the dribble. What? Man, and he's still unguardable too. Whoa, this looks a lot like what happens on Golden State. It's almost like he was always this good, and that's why people hate him so much right now. Wait, I'm getting a tweet from the future. This guy said rank these 4 players as scorers. The guy put KD last and said KD can't score without 4 All-Stars. But I'm watching it happen. It's 2014 and there's not 4 All-Stars on the floor. What is this? Oh my goodness, it's almost like fans create narratives years later to push their arguments. Man, I cannot believe KD was an elite scorer before he had 4 All-Stars. Wow, man, this whole time NBA Twitter had me thinking that Kevin Durant just could not do shit before he played next to Curry. Oh man, it's a good thing YouTube exists. Dirk is Melo without that one lucky ring. That one ring got people thinking he wasn't a perennial loser his whole career. And you know what? Just when I think a take like this is trolling, they keep going. People mad at my mentions, but deep down they know it's true. The one thing we don't do is Dirk slander, especially not without facts. I can't believe I'm about to compare the careers of Dirk Nowitzki and Carmelo Anthony, but this is what the internet has pushed me to. So on the count, just not even mentioning championships, we've got 13 All-Stars to 10 in favor of Dirk, 1 regular season MVP to 0 in favor of Dirk, 4 All-NBA first teams in comparison to 0 in favor of Dirk. Carmelo's never been on an All-NBA first team. And we've got 12 All-NBA teams for Dirk in comparison to 6 for Melo. Don't cut me off, I'm not done. If we take a look at the franchise index, we see that from 2001 to 2011 in a very tough Western Conference, led by Dirk Nowitzki, the Mavericks won 50 games every single year. They had 3 60-win seasons, one of which they went 67-15, and 7 of those seasons were over 55 wins. He got to the finals twice and won one of them. 2011 is in contention to seriously be called the best championship run of all time. In 2006, yeah, he had a trash finals performance and they lost. Made it to the Western Conference Finals once before that. And yeah, okay, so through all of this, I don't even need to look at Melo's side. Dirk Nowitzki definitely did more than Carmelo Anthony did, even if you take away the championship ring, by personal success and team success. You're not a perennial loser because you don't make it to the finals every year or you don't win in the finals every year. And I don't even want to slander Melo like that just to prop Dirk up, but you should be expecting a visit from the task force any moment now.
Hey! This is the police! Move your busted ass vehicle! Move, 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 move! This is the LAPD with a pop one in your ass!